Not every game needs an open world or dozens of hours to be great. Sometimes the best stories are told in a straight line with no distractions, just pure, unforgettable moments. These 12 games prove that. Uncharted 4 is one of those games that feels like the culmination of everything the series had been building toward. It's not just about the treasure hunts or the jaw-dropping set pieces, though it delivers on those effortlessly, but about a more mature, reflective version of Nathan Drake. The game explores themes of family, aging, and obsession in a way that feels grounded, not forced. Visually, it's stunning, with environments that feel alive, whether you're climbing a cliffside in Scotland or exploring a sunken pirate colony. The dynamic between Nate and his brother Sam adds real emotional weight, and the performances are spot on. The gameplay has been fine-tuned to feel smooth and responsive, blending cinematic moments with solid third-person shooting and traversal. It never drags or loses focus. Uncharted 4 knows exactly what kind of story it wants to tell, and it tells it with confidence, heart, and plenty of adventure. It's an unforgettable journey from start to finish. The Last of Us Part 1 isn't just another post-apocalyptic story, it's a character-driven narrative wrapped in a brutal, grounded survival game. At its core, it's about Joel and Ellie, two people forced into each other's lives by circumstances they didn't choose, and watching their bond evolve through hardship, violence, and quiet moments of humanity is what makes it so impactful. The game's world design is linear, but rich with detail, environmental storytelling, and subtle world building. Every abandoned home, note, and piece of scenery tells a story of the world that was lost. The combat is tense and unforgiving, often forcing you to think tactically with limited resources. Yet, it never feels punishing just for the sake of it. It's part of the world's logic. The sound design, performances, and writing all work together to create something that sticks with you. It's a heavy experience, but a deeply rewarding one. Not many games hit this kind of emotional depth while maintaining gameplay this strong.
Got you. You ain't going nowhere.
The remake of Silent Hill 2 takes one of the most psychologically disturbing stories in gaming and reintroduces it with modern visuals, sound, and atmosphere that elevate the original's dread to another level. It's not about jump scares or gore, it's about slowly peeling back the layers of James Sunderland's mind as he searches for his deceased wife in a fog-drenched town that seems to mirror his guilt. The environments feel cold, damp, and unsettling, and the creature designs still carry the symbolic weight that made them iconic. Every hallway, every distorted scream, every shadow seems carefully placed to make you feel uneasy, not just scared. The remake stays faithful to the original narrative, but enhances it with more expressive character animations and refined pacing. The music and audio design do a lot of the heavy lifting emotionally, pulling you deeper into James's unraveling psyche. It's horror with meaning, disturbing for a reason and designed to haunt you long after it's over. God of War Ragnarok isn't just a sequel, it's a powerful closing chapter to Kratos and Atreus' Norse saga. While it keeps the linear narrative structure, the game constantly surprises you with its emotional maturity and world-building depth. Kratos is no longer just a rage-fueled warrior, he's a father trying to protect his son, struggling to trust, to let go, and to find peace. The combat remains tight, visceral, and incredibly satisfying, but what stands out even more are the quieter, more introspective moments. The dialogue is smartly written, the performances are full of nuance, and the world feels lived in and mythologically dense. Every character, from Thor to Freya, is given room to develop, and nothing feels wasted or hollow. The pacing is deliberate, and while some areas open up slightly, it never loses its narrative focus. It's a game that delivers massive spectacle while never forgetting the intimate, personal story at its core. That balance is rare, and here it's done masterfully. A Plague Tale: Innocence is a slow burn, emotionally raw story about two siblings, Amicia and Hugo, trying to survive in 14th century France during a time when war, plague, and paranoia run rampant. The game doesn't rely on big action sequences or endless combat. Instead, it keeps the tension grounded in its world and characters. You're constantly on the run, sneaking past guards, avoiding swarms of plague-ridden rats, and trying to protect Hugo, whose mysterious illness ties into the spreading darkness around them. The linear structure works in the game's favor, guiding you through focused, story-driven chapters that never feel padded. The visuals are often haunting. Lush forests, ruined villages, and moonlit cathedrals all feel beautifully desolate. The soundtrack, filled with sorrowful strings, enhances the weight of every moment, but it's the relationship between the siblings that keeps everything grounded. They're not heroes, they're just kids doing whatever it takes to survive in a world falling apart.
Amicia!
I should be able to knock it down.
They've eaten them all.
Try not to look. We can't do anything for them now.
It's horrible.
I know. Come on.
Titanfall 2 doesn't waste your time. It delivers a focused, expertly designed campaign that constantly reinvents itself without losing sight of what makes it fun. The movement is fluid and responsive, letting you wall run, slide, and double jump with an ease that keeps combat fast and dynamic. The standout level design, especially in missions like Effect and Cause, proves that a linear shooter can still surprise you with inventive mechanics. BT, your Titan companion, is more than just a machine. The relationship between pilot and Titan adds a human layer to the sci-fi chaos. Visually, it's sharp and vibrant, and the pacing never feels bloated. You move from moment to moment with purpose, and everything feels deliberate. Even though the campaign is short, it makes a strong impression, showing that clever design and confident direction matter more than size. Titanfall 2 is one of those rare shooters that respects your time and delivers something memorable all the way through. Hellblade is more than a game. It's an experience crafted with care, especially in how it portrays mental health. Senua's journey through a mythic, nightmarish world is both intimate and unsettling, made more impactful by its binaural audio design that simulates auditory hallucinations. You feel her fear, her doubt, and her pain. The linear structure suits this kind of storytelling. There are no distractions, no open world clutter, just you, Senua, and the voices that surround her. The combat is simple but brutal, often feeling like a struggle rather than a power fantasy, which fits perfectly with the tone. Visually, the game pulls you into a haunting atmosphere, using darkness, shadow, and distortion in creative ways. It doesn't hold your hand, and it doesn't offer easy answers. The game trusts you to engage with it on a deeper emotional level. It's unsettling, but not exploitative. It's quiet when it needs to be, loud when it matters, and above all, it's unforgettable.
End it now. Nearly the end. He's gone.
The Resident Evil 4 Remake is a textbook example of how to update a classic without losing its soul. The pacing, structure, and set pieces remain intact, but everything has been rebuilt to feel sharper and more refined. Leon's journey through a European village filled with infected cultists is tighter and more responsive than ever, with updated controls and smarter enemy AI that keeps the pressure on. The environments are claustrophobic, dripping with atmosphere, and filled with tension, not because they're overdone, but because they're so well crafted. Every section has a flow, a rhythm that keeps you moving forward. The combat feels weighty and satisfying, especially when using crowd control tools like grenades and roundhouse kicks. The writing is more grounded, with just enough of that old school charm to remind you of its roots. It doesn't try to reinvent itself, it simply sharpens every edge. This is how you respect a legacy while making it fresh for modern players. Alan Wake 2 is dense, surreal, and hypnotic. It builds off the first game, but dives even deeper into its meta-narrative structure, switching between Alan and Saga Anderson to unfold a story that blurs the line between fiction and reality. The tone is heavy, the pacing deliberate, and the visuals consistently striking, using light and shadow as both themes and mechanics. The writing is sharp, layered, and demanding in the best way, rewarding players who pay attention. It's not interested in hand-holding or giving you instant clarity. Instead, it pulls you deeper with every strange revelation. The gameplay mixes psychological horror with investigative exploration, keeping you grounded in a world that constantly shifts around you. It's not the kind of game you rush through. It's one you sit with, think about, and return to after the credits, still piecing together what it all meant. This is storytelling built to unsettle and fascinate at the same time. Final Fantasy VII Remake doesn't just retell a story, it reimagines it. Midgar, once confined to a few pre-rendered backgrounds, is now alive with detail, emotion, and atmosphere. The linear format works beautifully here, letting each chapter focus on a key moment, a relationship, or a story beat without wandering off course. Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, and Barret all feel fleshed out in ways the original never had the space to do. The combat system blends real-time action with tactical pauses, and it's more than just flashy, it requires strategy, awareness, and timing. The world design supports the narrative at every step, from the slums to the towering corporate halls of Shinra. Even though longtime fans know where this story started, the remake finds new angles, unexpected moments, and emotional beats that hit just as hard as they did decades ago. It's a bold move to reinterpret something so beloved, but here it works, and then some.
Here it comes. Come, Cloud. Beg your forgiveness. Let's finish this.
Tomb Raider's 2013 reboot strips Lara Croft back to her roots, not as an icon, but as a survivor. This version of Lara doesn't start out a hardened explorer, she becomes one, and that transformation is the heart of the game. The island setting feels claustrophobic and brutal, filled with dangers that push her forward whether she's ready or not. The linear structure helps focus every moment, ensuring that the story never loses its tension. Combat is tight and satisfying, mixing stealth with quick, precise shooting mechanics, but it's the sense of progression, emotionally and mechanically, that really makes this game stand out. You're not just unlocking skills or gear, you're watching Lara gain confidence, adapt, and learn how to endure. The visuals hold up well, with set pieces that feel earned rather than forced. It's an origin story that respects the character while making her more human and relatable. This isn't about treasure, it's about survival, resilience, and becoming something more. Black Myth Wukong is one of the most visually striking linear action games to come out of recent years. Inspired by the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West, it brings mythology to life with cinematic precision and deeply polished gameplay. Every boss fight feels like an event, not because of overblown spectacle, but because of how each encounter is framed within the story. The environments are rich with cultural detail, mist-covered mountains, golden temples, eerie forests, and all of it flows together through a tightly directed structure that favors progression over exploration. The combat is fast, weighty, and precise, demanding skill without being punishing for its own sake. Animations are fluid, and the transformation mechanics add real depth to how you approach fights. The story seems rooted in themes of destiny, transformation, and power, told not through exposition dumps but through striking visuals and quiet character moments. This is a game that looks forward while honoring ancient tales. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments which linear games you think deserve more love. If you enjoyed the list, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.